This week. This is going to be a pretty brief email. I just want you to get back to the previous emails, and for our new student, I'm going to send you several of those emails this evening. Just work through them, and I'll try to make sure that you get them in an order that makes sense. Work through the emails that I've sent you, the videos that I've sent you for the exercises, and go through each one of those exercises so that you ultimately, when we do the coupon project, you build this, you get it done, and it works for the biography and the resume project. It's fairly simple text styling. We'll probably revisit that sometime a little bit later, but we're going to be using a little bit of these skills to kind of go back to that resume or that biography page that you're working on. So I want your email coupon to start to really look like this and to finalize it. If you want to choose different colors, that's fine. If you want to go out and experiment on a few things, that's also fine. I've sent you in those past emails. I've sent you several. There's a playlist in one of them that is other HTML and other styling guidelines. All right, so when we move from this, the next thing I want to talk about is where we're going from here. I'm going to probably, as kind of a quote-unquote test, I want to give you a blank HTML document. Well, it's not blank. It's going to have stuff in it, but I'm going to want you to take this, and I'm going to want you to style it so that you take this and are able to build this. Now, it doesn't take a genius to notice that right here we've got this four-wheel alignment, schedule service button, all that sort of stuff. If you go back to this one, here's our schedule service button. Here's all the text. Service specials, there's an image above this. And here's all of our kind of extra text. But then when you go back here, you'll notice that the coupon is divided by this horizontal line that's dotted. And now the image is on this side with the expiration date here. And all this text is here. So next week, I want you, if you can, to try to see what you could figure out about this. I'm going to go on ahead and send as an attachment to this email, this HTML file right here. I'm not going to give you any of the instruction. That's going to come next week because some of you are still working on getting to here. Okay? So we're going to go from here. For those of you who would like to jump ahead and start trying to format this so that you get multiple you get multiple coupons divided by a single horizontal line with this banner, this image, same image we used before, and these sort of things. I'm going to give you this file so you can try to build this. I will tell you as a hint that what you're going to be doing is you're going to be working on copying and pasting some HTML segments like table blocks, table divisions, table rows, and maybe even some entire tables by themselves to get this alternating design. And when you've done that, it's not going to be a completed, finished email by any means. I love to see what you can try. Okay? Again, you're going to get this. My goal is for at some point we finalize and produce this. And lastly, I want to hit when we start thinking about designing our own things, because one of our upcoming projects is going to be to design a web page, a home page for a business, a type of business, a small mom and pop shop. And so I want you to consider, as you're building things like this coupon, is look at the information architecture. Look at the importance given to certain things. You've got this big image, you've got headlines, you've got important text, you've got small text, you've got highlight images, you've got other important information that may not be as important as the primary information. You've got buttons, you've got divider lines. Think about that. That's considered information architecture. So let's quickly talk a little bit more about it I've talked about this before. Information architecture involves organizing your content, structuring it, making sure that labels are informative, and that it informs the person effectively and clearly. You want to make sure that content is easy to understand, that you can make sure that anyone reading it is able to understand what it is and why it's there. You want to be able to focus on creating clarity, making sure things are clear, and establish logical systems of navigation and looking through the content. You want to come up with some system of organization. That's where our sketching comes in. Even with pen and paper, just think about how are you going to group similar information and how are you going to separate information that is different from each other so that people understand where one thing ends and another begins. Some of that will involve some labeling systems. And if you'll notice the page that I'm using right here, I built this page. I've got highlights, I've got boxes around things, I've got color, I've got size differences. I've got, of course, there's no images here, but you want to think about how people are going to navigate, not just the buttons, not just the navigation bar, but how are they going to scroll through? Are there going to be colors that help them understand where they're going and what's next? For example, the numbering system here helps a person know that there's a first, a second, a third, and a fourth. Also, when the mouse goes over things, are there behaviors? So some real world examples that you could go study would be e-commerce websites, online stores, educational platforms, and you could also even look at corporate websites and look at how they clearly categorize things, they create logical progressions, and they create well-defined, easy to follow where to go. Okay, and then think about what kind of navigation and functional components they have. Okay, so just be thinking about that. Watch this video over again if you'd like to learn more about information architecture, and Google it. It's a great topic to discover. All right, I will see you on Monday, and like I said, the only thing you're going to get this week is you are going to finish up on this. You are going to receive this with the goal that you will build this, but I'm not giving you any instruction on how to build this yet. We'll cover that next time. See you next week.